Alright, so in this class we are going to learn how to write equations within LibreOffice. Now to write equations, all you need is to start by defining the exact point where you want to write the equation. So in this case, let's say we are going to write these three complex equations. These are images I copied from Google and just paste. So we're going to reproduce these three basic equations, okay, using the equation editor that we have in LibreOffice. Let's start with this simplest one, this integral. And to start writing any equation, you can just come to insert over here and you can come to OLE object. Okay, so you can see formula object over here. You just click and then we brought into this very platform where you can see all the unary and binary operators. So make sure you are on this equation editor so you can add in different kind of operations, additions and subtractions, multiplications and divisions of different types. So let's say this is the equation box where you're going to write everything. So this thing, the whole thing now lies within an integral sign with an initial and final point from 1 to infinity of this function. Okay, so let's start with, you can come over here and you can see different kind of operations or operators. You can have relations if you want to have relations, for example, greater than, less than, equal to. You can have set operations of different types. You can have functions of different types. You can see them listed over here. You can have different operators. If you have limits or thereabout, you can see different kind of integrals and many more. But in our own case, we are dealing with integral, but it has limits. Okay, integral with the sub and superscript. Okay, so we select this first option and you can see over here you can put in the values. The beginning is 1 and the ending is infinity. Now how can you insert infinity in this? You can check from the object over here. All right, so you can see you can come to the special over here and you can see infinity, so you can easily insert and you can see it added. So you can close on this and then you can have this function, the 1 plus e raised to the power minus x divided by x dx. So you can come, this is this function here, so you can write, this is going to be under this fraction. All right, so you can go and check out a fraction. You can come back to unary operators, division. So this is a normal division. Okay, so you can select on this. At the numerator we have 1 plus e. So if you notice, this e is carrying raised to the power x, so we're going to give it an operation with the exponent. So let's go back to the normal operation. All right, so this is it, this one. We can have it as this, or we can use the e directly. You can select this and you have e exponential negative x. So you can see a negative x here and you can see the numerator is complete. So you can come back to the denominator, which is divided by x, and you can see right now the first equation for our choice is complete. So you can click out. Now you have your own equation generated. Okay, so this is the first equation, this one. You have the option to center it, to align it left, right, and center however you want it. Now let's try to write the second equation, which is this guy over here. Now what is contained here is just the square root of 3 by 4 and then this function, this bigger function. So let's start writing it. First of all, writing the fraction. Okay, so we can come over back to insert and OLE object, formula object, and then you can see we have the box. Now this is the first one is a fraction, so we click on this fraction. Again, this is going to be a square root of 3, so we have to look for square root relations. All right, so this is going to be square root of 3, so let's click in and then we write our 3. So square root of 3 divided by 4. Right, so we have 4 here. Then we have this bigger bracket. All right, so we can insert the bracket on our own, or we can still come over and insert it. Okay, so we can see brackets, this one. All right, this is not the one inside the, all right, so let's see this one. All right, so inside is where we have this big function, which is 1 plus, you can type that from your keyboard, 1 plus the summation of k equals to 1 to n. So this is going to be a sum value, so we can check out the, so we have the sum value, but just like the integral, we have it defined by a limit. So we select this one. Okay, so you have it. The first limit is at k equals to 1. K equals to 1, and then the second limit, which is a top, to n. All right, so you can see, and then what operations do we have? This is also a fraction, 3 times 4 raised to the power k minus 1 divided by 9k. So we're going to have a fraction over here, so we can go to, so we're going to have a fraction, and at the numerator is when we have 3 multiplied by 4. So we have 3 multiplied by, so we can use this. All right, multiply by what? So this is going to be also an exponential function, 4 raised to the power of k minus 1. So let's look out for the function. All right, so we'll go with this, 4 to the power of k minus 1, k minus 1. All right, and then denominator is just 9 raised to the power k, so we are going to still have this power, okay, the one with the suffix, so we have 9 raised to the power k. All right, and I think we have the equation complete, so we can click out, and you can see everything is complete. The square root of this into 1 plus summation of k from k equals to 1 to n of 3 times 4 k raised to the power minus 1 divided by 9k. I think this is very perfect and correct. So let's go ahead and write the last one, which is this complex one a bit. So we can just write. All right, so let's select this. Let's select the point, and then we can just go ahead and still write. Come to insert, OLE object, and formula object. All right, so the first one is just x, and then we have it inside a bracket, inside this bracket. So you can come over here and see brackets of different types. We have this bracket, and inside the bracket is where we have this fraction, 1 by x root of x cubed. Okay, so we can just go ahead and write a fraction. All right, so this is going to be a fraction, and it's going to be 1 by the x root of this x raised to the power 3. So let's go back to square root. All right, so it's going to be this one, and we have the x here. Right, we have the x root over here, and then we are going to have this x cube. So it's going to be this with the power. All right, so we come back here and just write our x cube. So we have our x cube over here. All right, so we'll come out of the bracket. Now we're going to go out of the bracket to put the minus sign. So this is going to be minus, and this fraction as well. So this is going to be a fraction. So let's go back here, operators. All right, so this is going to be a fraction, and this is going to be x raised to the power of x minus 2. So we're going to be at the top here, and we're going to make it with this power. All right, so this one, so it's going to be x. So it's going to be x raised to the power of x minus 2 divided by x. All right, and the whole thing now equals to 0. All right, so you can see the equation is purely written correctly with x into 1 by x root of x cubed minus x raised to the power x minus 2 divided by x equal to 0. I think this is very correct. So now we have all our 3 equations written very correctly. So I challenge you to pick in any equation. You can just pick however small, however complex it is. Try to write it using the equation editor of LibreOffice. Okay, so this concludes this class about writing the equations. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.